to a quick song, and then we'll come back and finish it off with Chris and Travis. What do you think, guys?
Sounds great.
All right, guys, you're listening to Fear the Walking Dead with Ike, Deborah, and Brooke. Boss Man has the night off, so it's just Deborah and I, and our guest tonight is the wonderful Patrick. So we'll be back in a little bit, guys. Thank you.
From that book. There at least some evil.
You're all going to die tonight.
Oh my God!
Not another peep. Time to go to sleep.
You're listening to Fear TWD with Ike, Deborah, and Brooke. You're listening to Fear TWD with Ike, Deborah, and Brooke.
All right, guys, welcome back to Fear the Walking Dead with Ike, Deborah, and Brooke. And once again, Boss Man has the night off, so it's just Deborah and I with our lovely guest, Patrick. And we are live on KBLP. Now we're going to finish off our discussion for part one with Travis and Chris. Who wants to start off? Anybody?
Let's go first. I like feeding off you. I don't know. I mean, I just think, even though Chris, everybody hated Chris, I just think they could have done a little better killing him off.
Well, let's go back for a minute. I mean, okay, so we're at the hotel with Travis and Madison, which I still cannot stand her. I do not like her at all.
I don't like Madison either. I like Madison. She makes rules for everyone else, but then she doesn't apply them rules to her own people.
Exactly. I've said this before that she reminds me of a Lori and Andrea all rolled into one.
Oh man, that's horrible.
Hey, that's how I feel.
Andrea's actually really good as a comic, but they ruined her for the show. I liked Andrea. I didn't like Andrea at first, but then I liked her. I don't know, there was just something about her in season 3 that I liked. That's when everybody didn't like her because she was in cahoots with the governor and wouldn't kill him. And
I think I didn't like her from the very beginning because to me she was just she was so whiny.
Mm-hmm.
Always complaining.
That was the perfect thing saying that Madison is a mixture of lawyers. That the perfect amount of hate towards her.
Exactly. But like what you said, I mean, I was so mad at her from not this Sunday, but last Sunday, or was it last Sunday? I can't remember when. Oh, it was when she turned the lights on the hotel. I was so mad at her.
She turned the lights on the hotel.
Yes.
Like, hello, I'm here. Come and get me. That's what it was like.
It's like ringing the dinner bell.
I don't know. I guess I don't know what it is about her that I like. I think it's just she says what she wants to and does what she wants to.
I'm curious about her dark background that she tells Travis that she's always been at that. I'm still kind of curious what dark stuff she's already done.
Right, and two, the Talking Dead said we'll get into a little bit more of her dark past in season 3 as well. So we'll see what happens.
Well,
but I'm glad to see Travis finally stepping up. Like he was too docile. He was too worried. You know what I mean? He didn't want to kill this. He didn't like guns, anything like that. I was so happy to see him beat everything jumped out of him, guys.
Well,
he actually had a Rick moment.
Well, and see, that's why I have, Patrick, you're right, in the very beginning, he was kind of like skittish about doing anything. And then, Sunday's episode, I mean, he was all hands on deck type of thing. He was ready to go.
That was a different side, a different twist, right? We ain't never seen him, Travis. Ever.
Exactly. And him but then he annoyed me for a minute. Oh, boo-hoo-hoo, I let my son go. And I'm like, no. He made that choice. You did everything that you could as a parent to lead him in the right direction. He's the one that decided to say, basically, I'm done with you, kiss my butt, I'm leaving. That was his choice. That kind of annoyed me there for a minute.
And I think that's what crushes him the most, that the very last thing that he said to him was, God damn it, Chris, instead of I love you.
Right.
And
if he never got the chance to actually just say it.
Well, and as a, parent, I understand, what he's meaning, but also at the same hand, dude, you kind of, right now in this kind of situation that you're in, you kind of got like, okay, he took off on his own. Hopefully the things are the best for him, but also on the same hand, I understand that he was worried. It's just like, okay, take a breath, relax for a minute, and let's assess the situation in a whole different aspect. Excuse me.
Like, Travis almost let them get away with it when it was just a car accident. He was actually cool to Brandon and the other guy until they made that lie about pulling him out and him being injected. Like, Travis was actually okay. He was upset, but he was okay about it.
Yes. And, when they said the story to Travis, I'm like, yeah, okay, that's not right. No. They buried him. They wouldn't bury the guy at the farm. Why would they bury Chris?
Yeah.
I mean, right there.
They didn't care about their own friend that's been traveling with them since the beginning.
Right.
Exactly.
Like, I called it right away. Like, second they said that, I was like, dude, he's lying. And then right away, Travis turns his head. He's like, now, which was it? And it's like, dude, I'm getting too good at this.
No, you're exactly correct, though, because, I mean, when he said what got me is when they said they buried him, like, I call BS. I call BS on that one. But what do you guys think of how he retaliated? Were you guys okay with it?
To the accident, I mean, I would have thought that these boys would have got hurt worse than Chris.
Well,
I mean, they were
getting ejected out of the back.
They were in the back of the truck sleeping.
Yeah, they had to have been thrown like crazy.
Yes, I mean, they would have died.
They said that one guy had to deal with the devil and he didn't have a single scratch on him.
except for that one guy didn't have a single scratch on him. Brandon had a dislocated shoulder, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now how is that possible? Really?
They do say, you ever notice when people that are drunk driving, when they get into an accident and they fall asleep, it's technically because they don't tense their muscles up.
Exactly.
Right.
So if he was asleep, he might actually been thrown and been okay. Because my brother was in an accident. He saw it, and he had to get all sorts of surgery. But my other friend Woody, he was in there too, and he didn't have seatbelt or anything, and he passed out, and he didn't get a single scratch on him just because he never tensed up. So maybe one of them woke up as it was happening, and the other one woke up right after it happened, and that's why he didn't tense up in his body, you know what I mean? Because he tense up, he's snapping bones and stuff.
And see, I was thinking the same thing, you know, if they were asleep in the bed of the truck, you know, what in the world? I mean, like you said, you know, what, dislocated shoulder and a few scratches, but like you also said, Patrick, they were asleep, so their body was relaxed, so they didn't, you know, they weren't tensed up in the process throughout the whole accident. So it makes sense, but also on the same hand, it's like, dude, wouldn't you have been flown like hundreds and hundreds of yards away? Because they made
they said the truck flipped half a dozen times.
Yeah.
Wow.
When they hit that ramp, just the way the first thing goes, some guys had to have been thrown like 30, 40 yards away from that truck.
I know it.
Like, even being asleep, I still don't see how he doesn't have scratches from like bouncing off the ground at least.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Exactly. It just didn't make any sense when they were telling the story, but do we know if the story is true or not?
Exactly. We don't know if the story's true. I mean, they could have lied. Chris could still be alive.
But that would be a hard, like, I wouldn't even tell someone a lie like that, because they're like, you know, for sure they're going to beat you to death. They even said, before we tell you, Travis, we're afraid of you.
Yeah.
They straight up told him they were afraid of him right away. Why would they actually tell them that they didn't drag him and they actually executed him? Because that would be the worst story to tell someone if you're lying, really.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, that is like some twisted stuff to do that to a father. Of all people, you know, a father that was doing everything in his power to keep him away from those two.
He could have just lied and said Chris stole the truck when they were sleeping or something, and they just had no clue where he was at, and just left it at that.
Yep.
Exactly. But I don't know that it just, that whole story when they were telling Travis did not make any sense from the very beginning. Well,
And like towards the end of that episode, you notice like everybody that seems to get across the American border, people shoot at them. But Ophelia got shot at, and then at the end, Lucy and Nick.
You're getting ahead.
Lucy
You're getting an episode
Oh.
2, though.
yeah.
Getting too far ahead, just like I did. It's hard not to talk about it.
I know, it's still hard.
Like, I need some duct tape.
No kidding, Patrick.
And you still got to see it. I didn't say that. I could be lying. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Okay,
I'm
so
confused.
so my question is, do you guys condone what Travis did?
What was that?
Do you condone what Travis did? Do you agree with him beating the tar out of those two?
Oh, I would have did worse. I would have did it Daniel, and I would have tortured him. But Daniel took, and when he was doing it to that one officer early in the season 1 or whatever, he took it out, and he was sitting there cutting the veins and everything. I would have been torturing them kids.
I like the way you think, because I would have done the same thing.
Like a quick death would be too good for them, and too letting them off the hook.
Right.
You're exactly, excuse me, you're exactly correct. I mean, I probably would have done the same thing, like the Chinese water torture or something.
Easy out.
I'm sorry?
Death is an easy out.
I agree. I mean, and who was it that he kind of accidentally killed? Who was it? Oh my gosh. The guy that ended up in the coma?
Oh, yeah. I forget what his name was. He got whacked in the head with the door. Travis hit him in the head with the door when he tried to get in.
And I'll be honest with you, that was his fault.
And you see, at first, he didn't even acknowledge like he even did something wrong, because even Madison stood at the window, and so did the doctor guy. He stood at the window, and he continued looking. He didn't even go down to check his friend at first.
Exactly.
So it didn't seem like a big thing. Like, I got my head whacked in the door before. My brain didn't swell up like that.
I kind of think they kind of over exaggerated that scene a little bit, but that's just my honest opinion. Because I've gotten hit in the head like that before, and my brain's still kind of somewhat functionable. I stress that word kind of,
We're
sort
talking
of.
about Carlos, right?
Thank you.